So let's talk then and get the sense of how this is all going to be worked. The administration for the UIF, it cannot be good news at all. Business Unity South Africa's Natalie Singer joining us now. Natalie, good morning to you. Appreciate the time. So Labour think this is a good idea. What does BUSA think?
Hi, good morning, Gareth, and to your viewers. Yes, absolutely. BUSA echoes the calls of our organised labour colleagues for the UIF to be placed under administration. This shouldn't come as a surprise to the UIF. We've been engaging, well, in the beginning almost daily and more recently in every second or so week to try and work towards unblocking some of the blockages that are existent within the UIF and its systems. And unfortunately, despite raising these concerns, offers of help, and including escalating it on numerous previous occasions, nothing has changed. And so we also believe the time has come, particularly following the recent allegations in the public domain around mismanagement and questionable investments, that the UIF needs to be independently reviewed.
Help me understand, we'll get back to what an administration means for the running of the UIF in a moment, but just help me understand, for those who rely on the UIF, these issues that you say are well known, and they are well known, they've been there for a long time. How is it affecting those who rely on the UIF?
So, Gareth, I think the challenges existed long before, of course, COVID. The crisis, and during the crisis, hats off. 64 billion rand was paid out under extreme circumstances to support people during COVID-19. But what it did do is it created an opportunity to take a look inside as to the administration of UIF. And the biggest single problem we have is that in today's modern world, despite some modernization attempts at apps and things like that could help create access to updates. The reality is that whether you stand in a queue for days at a labour centre to make an application or use the U-filing online application, once the paperwork is inside the UIF, it sits on someone's desk and it needs to be handled manually. And there simply isn't enough capacity or resources or perhaps desire to make those applications move faster. And so what happens is that people who've made applications during times of financial distress are not receiving their payments timelessly and sometimes not at all.
Because now I see as well that we have the Labour Minister, Natalie, in online reports rejecting placing it under administration. What would you make of the Labour Minister himself saying this is maybe not the way to go, even though he knows about the payment delays?
So it's disappointing because we have written as BUSA to the Minister on multiple occasions, and all that's been received is an acknowledgement of receipt of the letter. We've not received any communication or any positive response for a request for a meeting. I understand that in his statement he has mentioned that there are plans afoot to improve service delivery, and certainly that's what we all want. We want the UIF to work. What would be nice is that if the minister took us into his confidence and as collaborative social partners, which is what our role is, explained what was on the table and what was planned. We are all for making it work. Unfortunately, it just hasn't changed. The status quo remains. And there's a lot of reticence, I think, from the UIF and officials to let us know what is going to be different so that workers who need money can get their money at the time that they need it.
There's a lot of issues that are being raised, and the Minister does refer to them. And I want to just get your thoughts on this as well, Natalie. Just looking at this article, Tullis saying rather than resorting to placing the fund under administration, he insists that there are practical solutions that are currently under consideration. Are they? Do you know about them? What are they?
We don't. So we don't know beyond what we've offered. And so we've offered many practical solutions for the last 3 years, most of which have fallen on deaf ears. And whilst we are occasionally told that there are modernization plans in progress, requests for more to understand what that looks like have just not been responded to positively. So if he would like to take us into his confidence and share those, we would be delighted to have a look and see whether we think these might actually work in unblocking what needs to happen.
Apart from an administrative change as well, one would imagine if there's going to be investigations into the business dealings of the UIF as well, we'd have to look at the managers and those in charge. Could we see an overhaul of that? Do we need a clean sweep at the top?
I suppose that is one of the things that, comes as a consequence of administration, is looking into the management and leadership of the organization. And I think, as we would see in any business, if your mandate, and the UIF's mandate is pretty simple, it collects contributions from workers and their employers, and it has one mandate. When a contributor has a time of financial distress, unemployment, maternity, illness, etc., they should make an application. Their application should be assessed, and if they are eligible, they should be paid timeously. It's not complicated, and yet, unfortunately, the administration of the system is not working. You just need to go online and have a look on the UIF's page itself to the many, many pleas from desperate people for a response, for assistance. And so the management of the structure and the structure itself is clearly not functioning as it should.
Yeah, not at all. And you were talking about going to their webpage. I was taking a quick look at those who are talking about the UIF on what was formerly Twitter, now it's X as well. And as you say, the number of complaints there, and this really isn't a secret how badly this is affecting those who need this money. And I appreciate the time in giving us the context. Natalie Singer, Business Unity South Africa, joining us this morning. So this investigation is going to be getting underway and possible administration for the UIF.